There is a chance that the Buffalo Bills lose to the New Orleans Saints on Sunday if these three issues are not fixed. You must fix these three things in order to come out of this game 4-0. I'll tell you what they are in just a moment. First, though, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We are almost at our next milestone of 6,500 subs. Can we get there before our watch party tomorrow? 113 more members of the Mafia needed to hit that sub button in order for us to get to 6.5K. And if you do, join us at 12:30 p.m. on Sundays. We'll do a Bills versus Saints watch party right here on the Bills Breakdown. Have a live pregame tailgate, breaking down the keys to victory, and having a couple of drinks on hand as well. We'll have a live scoreboard, play-by-play, all that stuff. We'll have a live chat. Have a bunch of Bills fans hanging out with us as well. So join us on Sunday for Bills versus Saints in Week 4. Alrighty, some issues that needs fixing. The run defense. Oh, a shocker. Oh, my God. This is the craziest thing that Bills fans have ever heard. No, it's not, to be quite honest with you. It's been what's plagued this Bills defense for the better part of half a decade at this point. It's the run defense. And so far in 2024, or 2025, not really much has changed in that front, even when the Bills have been, in kind of working in dominant fashion against some of these teams. Through the first 3 weeks of the season, the Bills are allowing 6.2 yards per carry. Dead last in the NFL. Week 1 was a big reason why. I mean, the Ravens ran for 8.2 yards a rush, probably the best rushing attack in the NFL, and all things considered. And they just, they cooked you for a while. The Bills defense did go out there and make a play. They got a round of stops when they needed to, and they forced a fumble on Derrick Henry. But from 85% of that game, 90% of that game, they were getting absolutely dog-walked at the line of scrimmage in the run game. And in Week 2, they had a problem kind of containing the Jets as well. I mean, Breece Hall himself didn't have a great day, but you couldn't contain Justin Fields with his legs. And also, Tyrod Taylor had some scrambles as well. So you allowed 4.8 yards per carry against the Jets, even though you beat them 30-10. Also, Week 3 against the Dolphins, you allowed 5.2 yards per carry. Like, Achane had some Tua scrambles in there as well. Like, there's just things you cannot allow if you're the Buffalo Bills here trying to win a Super Bowl. Like the easiest way for a team to win a football game is to control time of possession. And the easiest way to control time of possession is to be able to run the ball successfully. If the Bills allow teams to run the ball successfully, they won't win the Super Bowl. It's pretty simple math here, folks. The Bills haven't yet figured it out yet, though. And it's crazy because they the Saints face some of the lightest boxes in the NFL so far this season. The Bills, on the other hand, load the box. They load the box way more than the Saints' previous opponents do, but it's interesting considering that they are run defense. Like, it hasn't really affected how successful their run defense has been so far this year. Now, one way to kind of combat this or patch up the deficiencies in the run defense is, well, don't let the Saints run the ball. Score the football. How about control time possession? How about you run the football effectively yourselves so that when the Saints do get on the football field, they got to get down there quick. So they got to, use the passing game to move the football or not move the football. Hopefully the Bills' pass defense is up to task. But don't let them, have these long, basically just don't let them control tempo and you'll be fine. Like, as far as Alvin Kamara goes, is an in-between the tackles runner. He's never been that prolific in that area. So I don't think the matchup-wise this is the toughest one for the Bills, but it would be a little bit concerning to me if the run defense isn't looking a lot better than it has through the first 3 weeks of the season. You can always bail yourself out, though. Or, sorry, you can't always bail yourself out, I should say, by forcing a turnover. Like, it's going to catch – this is what I meant by this. It's going to catch up to the Bills eventually. The stuff that happens at the end of the Dolphins game, the stuff that happens at the end of the Ravens game, it's not going to be able to happen in every one-score game that you play. So, yeah, it's awesome that it has, and you're 3-0 right now, but you can't always bank on making a crazy play in the final moments of a game that turn the tide your way. So you got to shore this thing up for the full 60 minutes, and then you won't have to worry about those things over the final 5. Third down defense. So we'll stick on the defensive side of the football here because, let's be honest, the offensive side of the ball for Buffalo, is there really that much to complain about at this point? There is a good amount to complain about on the third down department on the defensive side, though, because it's honestly jarring, to be quite honest. Because outside of Week 2, the Bills, in which they forced the Jets to an 0 of 11 on third down. How impressive really is that at the end of the day? Justin Fields can't throw the ball further than I can. Kind of joking. The Bills are by far the worst team in the NFL when it comes to third down defense. They're 23rd right now. This would rank, I think, 32 by probably 20%. Probably 20%. Nearly 70% of third downs they've allowed converted. 17 of 25. I believe the Dolphins were 10 of 15, and the Ravens were 7 of 10. You know what makes that worse? When they got 8 of those stops, they didn't actually get a stop because opponents converted 2 for 2 on 4th down. This has got to be shored up. And look, I know Bills fans are upset with it. I'm upset with it. But nobody's more upset about it than the actual Buffalo Bills themselves. This is what Sean McDermott had to say about it. Doesn't really know exactly the formula that it takes yet, but he has some thoughts on where they can be better. We can be better, not just rushing the pass route, but working together to impact the play or affect the quarterback better. To say it's just the rush or just the coverage wouldn't be fair. Look, there are a lot of things that need to go right for the Bills here. Like they need to work on fundamentals week in and week out. Like the open field tackling sometimes is an issue, especially on these 3rd and longs where ball gets put into playmaker's hands and one move and he's past the sticks. So they definitely need to shore up some things in that regard. But it's a full team effort, man. It can't just come from one unit on the defensive side of the ball. So literally just have to be better when it comes to form tackling, like making sure guys don't get past you, and you'll be fine against the Saints team that I'll say does have a lot of speed. But you are at home, and McDermott also made that a note as well, that the 12th man in Highmark Stadium gives them a little bit of juice on these big money down plays as well. So that's good to hear. Bobby Babich, of the defensive coordinator, said this on the whole situation on 3rd downs. He said, I think 2 things there. I could help him with calls, and we've got to be able to execute and make sure our rush and coverage is working together. Like I said, it's a total team effort. All 11 need to work in order to get off the field on 3rd down. We know what the weaknesses are of every call that we're in, and if they attack one of the weaknesses, it's my job to put us in a different call. And so we'll certainly address that, get it corrected, and look to be better next time. Taron Johnson said he was frustrated about the 3rd down defense. I believe it was Terrell Bernard was frustrated about the 3rd down defense as well. So clearly, like, they want to fix this, but it's going to come with time. Luckily, this week, they can kind of get trend in the right direction a little bit. Like, this offense, especially passing the ball down the football field, is not good. I would argue it's maybe one of the worst, if not the worst, in the National Football League. So get yourself back on track this week. Keep guys in front. Make sure we're tackling. Don't play too soft to coverage, because that did happen as well a little bit too often for me in Week 3 against the Dolphins. So happy medium. Everything kind of has to come to an equal point here with the Buffalo Bills. With that being said, who do you got in Week 4? BUF for the Bills, NO for the Saints. Is it the craziest trap game that's ever happened? A 17-point spread on the line? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. BUFs, I want to see a bunch of them. We'll talk more, and the last thing the Bills have to fix in just a moment. But first, tell you guys about PrizePicks, our sponsor on the video. You and I make decisions every single day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. And it can get you up to 2,000 times your money with one lineup this football season. Watching your Buffalo Bills, but it's not just your Bills. It's also college football, basketball's coming up, baseball playoffs are around the corner. Everything is on PrizePicks. And it's so easy to play. All you guys got to do is pick a lineup of 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats. They always want to make it easy for you guys to win real money in real time with awesome deals, like a free $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup, but you got to use our promo code CLNS when you do. My lineup for Week 4 looks as follows. I got Dalton Kincaid more than 37.5 receiving yards, James Cook more than a half rushing or receiving touchdown, and Spencer Rattler, because it's going to be garbage time, more than 207.5 passing yards. You can tell my picks or fade them. Just do it at PrizePicks. Download the app today and use the code CLNS for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. I know this sounds ridiculous, but the Bills aren't a good punting football team. I know. Are you going to lose football games, multiple football games because of it? Probably not, but you want to, you can never be perfect everywhere, but especially in the special teams, you don't want to give teams an extra leg up that they couldn't have if you could execute a little bit better. The Bills so far this season, and they already made a change at the punter spot, they have the second lowest yards per punt average with 42.6. They cut Brad Robbins after Week 1, bring in Cameron Johnston in Week 2 and Week 3, and to be honest with you guys, it really hasn't gotten all that much better. I mean, Johnston, I believe, is punting it on average about 5 yards further than Brad Robbins does. I will say it improves a little bit because the Bills' gunners are pretty solid, so they've allowed the 7th most net punt yards, so about a 5 spot jump there for the Bills when it comes to actual net punt yards, 38.2 there. So it gets a little bit better, but it's still pretty rough. And the last thing you want to do with a team like the New Orleans Saints is make their lives easier. And you don't want to give them there's no reason here to give the Saints short fields. Like, pin them deep And to be fair, on one of the punts that got called back, Cameron Johnson had a nasty one. That was really, really good. But it was the one that it was a fourth down conversion that they ended up getting run into on. It was a nasty punt. It was going to get down at the 1. But there's no reason to give the Saints the short fields this week. There's no reason to make Spencer Rattler's job a whole lot easier. Make him go 80, 90 yards every time down, and there's a good chance you could pitch a shutout. Not sure really how you fix the punting situation, to be honest with you guys, besides not punting. And I think that's completely possible with the Bills this week. I mean, we've seen the Bills do it in a playoff game before. Like, they can absolutely, against really, really inferior competition. And we know historically over the past few seasons when they've had really, really inferior competition like this, they have straight pummeled them in the regular season. So there's one way to fix the Bills and their short punting kind of problem they have going on, and it's just by not punting at all. So play PrizePicks with me real quick, because they actually have punts on PrizePicks as well. I didn't see the real number on there for the Bills so far this week, but 1.5 punts is what I'm putting the PrizePicks number at for the Bills in Week 4. M for more, L for less. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. One more thing before we get out of here on today's show. Guess what? We have 17, and the Saints don't. They don't have anything close to Josh Allen. And I'm not saying that this isn't to talk trash on Spencer Rattler or anything like that. No, this is just kind of a hype-up glaze segment on Josh Allen, 24 hours before this game gets underway, because I came across this stat on Twitter. Look at this thing. 20-yard throws. Oh, yeah, Josh Allen's checked down Charlie. Josh Allen doesn't throw the ball past the sticks. Oh, okay. Over his last 7 starts, including the playoffs, so I believe this is dating back to Week 17 of 2024, Josh Allen is 14 of 23 on 20-yard throws, 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks. So when defenses know he's going to pass the ball, he shreds them. When he wants to check it down, he shreds defenses. And then when he wants to throw it deep, he shreds defenses. Okay, this guy's the best quarterback in the NFL. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't think it's particularly close right now. The two guys who are 2 and 3, to me right now, are playing this weekend. They're matching up. Baltimore and KC. It's a massive game. The Ravens are 1 and 2. The Chiefs are 1 and 2. One of these two teams is going to be 1 and 3. And there's been a lot of discourse as to where Bills fans' rooting interest should be this week. I think it's with the Chiefs. But at the same time, you think about it, the Ravens are already 2 games down from the Bills now. Yeah, they're 1 and 2, but at the same time, the Bills already have a tiebreaker over the Ravens. The Chiefs are still on the schedule. So if the Ravens win, they'll be 2 and 2 and 2 games below the Bills. And then the Chiefs will be 3 games below the Bills, with them still on the schedule later on this season. So they could be 4 games behind the Bills later on. I mean, all things considered, considering that they go tit for tat the rest of the way. So I think the rooting interest should be with the Baltimore Ravens this upcoming season. If there's a chance that Patrick Mahomes can't play in the playoffs this upcoming year, yeah, I think I want whatever outcome gets us closer to that. So I'm rooting for the Ravens this week. Let me know who you're rooting for down in the comment section. And also, just for those of you who are maybe a little upset that I didn't give out my favorite wing on the video at the end of yesterday's video, because I forgot. My bad. It was an 18-minute video. I kind of got lost a little bit on that one. I'm going to go Doc Sullivan's. Doc Sullivan's in South Buffalo because they have the Smitty wings. Give Smitty a follow on Twitter as well. At Tyler J. Smith, 2 H's because the name's common, but I am not. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. You can join us tomorrow for Bills vs. Saints in Week 4 here with a live watch party. We'll see you all then. And as always, let's go Buffalo.